The aim of the Touch and Rice podcast is to spread fun in the touch football community. We talk a little bit of touch footy chat, but mostly play games and throw some banter. Hosts Cess and Kimmy would like to pay respects to the traditional owners of the land on which we meet.
My name is Geordie Skiing, and I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet here today. Today we're meeting in Meanjin, and those traditional owners are the Yagara and Turrbal people. And I'd also like to pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging, and acknowledge my people, the Gubbi Gubbi people, and extend that acknowledgement to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people listening in today.
Mabuhay Kimmy, Shanks.
Hello.
What's going on?
And welcome to the Lukes, Saldo and Heck we have on board this evening. Really grateful that you've joined us today for the first time we've had, oh no, it isn't the first time, apologise Amelia and Jacob, we've had you guys on, but second time we've had 5 guests on.
Thanks. Good to be here, mate.
Thanks very much for having us.
First time on Zoom, so I will correct myself there. So it is a first. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll jump straight in. I know you've listened to a couple of episodes, so you know what's coming, which is a little bit scary maybe. Brag sheet first. We'll start with you, Luke Saldern Saldo, referee at the 2015 Touch World Cup, 2017, 2020 Youth Trans Tasman as well, 2016, 2018, 2021 State of Origin series, all mixed opens in those 3 series. Vorden Cup Men's Premier League Grand Final referee 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. And New South Wales State Cup Men's Open Grand Final referee 2017, 2018 and 2019. And then you transitioned to New South Wales Rugby League as the high performance officiating squad in 2020 and stepped away from touch refereeing. And you debuted as an NRLW central referee in 2024 this year. Quite a rap sheet.
It is when you read it out like that. Yeah. That's been a long journey.
It's interesting when you put them down, and I do have to say, we don't have time to run through Heck's entire sheet that he sent through. Otherwise, we'd be here for most of the episode. So I have condensed it down, Heck, on yours. So we've just looked at the touch football level 6 referee, which, as we all know, is the highest level in Australia. You've refereed the Youth Trans Tasman in 2015 in Cronulla, and you refereed at the 2015 Fit World Cup, the senior mixed final, refereed at the Youth Trans Tasman in 2017 in Auckland, and you refereed the NRL Touch Premiership 2018 and 2019, and you still referee in the New South Wales Vorden Cup and New South Wales State Cup. In terms of rugby league, you started refereeing rugby league in the late 2000s, progressed to a member of the New South Wales Rugby League High Performance Squad, and you officiated in the New South Wales Cup, which is the level under the NRL, and you've retired at the ripe old age of 33 at the end of the 2024 season. So quite a rap sheet yourself.
Yeah, thank you. When I was typing it out, I was like, I've been involved in touch and footy and sport for so long. You just sort of forget how much time you've sunk into it. So, no, it's been a good time.
Very, very impressive for the both of you. Thank you for sending those humble brags through. Very impressive. And first time it's exciting for us because we've had players, we've had an administrator recently, which hasn't been released yet. But the first time we've had 2 referees on, accomplished at that as well. So it should make for a very, very interesting chat. Relationships can sometimes be a little bit fractured with players and referees. So it'd be good to hear from your side of things today. Let's move into the set of 6. So set of 6 touch-related questions for you both, as you are aware that we do. Question number 1, touch origin stories. How did you get into refereeing and touch in general, I guess?
Yeah,
Sal, I'll throw you first.
Yeah. So for me, I got into the sport of touch football through my dad. He played through all the representing. He played State of Origin for New South Wales in the men's 40s, and I guess he introduced me and my sister both to touch. As a younger kid, I was played a few junior state cups for Manly, who are my home club. But at the same time, I was playing rugby league. So as you know, Manly Touch is, or as you may know, Manly Touch is quite a large affiliate with lots and lots of kids who play. So got to a point where I was sort of told that I played too much like a rugby league player, and there was other kids that were better in the touch space, in the playing space. So my sister actually got picked in the under 10s that year, and I thought, I don't want to sit around Wollongong all weekend on my hands. So I decided to do my referee course and go and referee instead. And did one event, never looked back. So that's kind of how I fell into refereeing. I guess for me, it progressed from there.
And Heck, what about you? What's your touch origin?
Yeah, so sort of similar sort of vibe. My parents were playing in a mixed touch football competition at Hornsby Touch, which is sort of the furthest, if you're listening internationally or you're not from Sydney, it's probably the furthest north you can get in Sydney before you start heading up to Central Coast and Newcastle. But they were playing in a mixed touch football competition. They weren't very good, sorry, Mum and Dad. But I was there playing, and Hornsby was launching a junior competition. I started playing in the junior competition, and then my younger brother was also playing, and they said, oh, we need some referees. Would you like to referee? And I put my hand up and pulled one of the beautiful orange shirts they had for the referees at Hornsby Touch there and started running around. And I thought, oh, this is all right. You know, I'm keeping busy. I'm not standing around. I don't have to watch my brother play. And yeah, enjoyed it. At the end of that season, I got handed an envelope and got home and opened it up and had a bit of cash in it. And I thought, oh, wow, I can make some money refereeing as well. And then was lucky enough at that time, there was some really prominent level 6 referees, Anthony Smith, who's now up in Queensland, Bill Slade, who is a mentor for younger refs now, Bernie O'Donoghue, Peter Jones. There was a lot of really accomplished referees in that club, and they sort of saw that I was much better referee than a player, particularly with Hornsby Touch having so many really good players coming out of it, like Dave Roberts, Mark Roberts, who played Philippines Open, men's or mixed open. So I wasn't a very good player. So they took me under their wing, and I progressed through the ranks.
Right. And that probably leads into my second question of the set of 6. Heck, you mentioned when you sent your form through, when we were getting a bit of intel on you, that you might make a competitive comeback to touch football refereeing. Time will tell there, you mentioned, but why refereeing over playing? And you mentioned the money. I'm assuming it's not the money now, but for I guess younger kids that either their skill set it doesn't fit into that, or they enjoy pulling on the orange shirt or whatever, pink shirt, whatever it is these days. Why would people get into it, and why did you stick with refereeing over jumping back into as a player?
It's an interesting question. It's one which I've actually, it made me reflect on it a little bit when I was filling the forms out for this podcast, but also thinking back through my refereeing journey. And it made me realize when I was playing touch football, not only that I wasn't the greatest player on the team, but when you're playing in a touch team, you are surrounded by your touch team and your club, and you generally go to the fields and you'll come back to your touch tent or your room, and then you will hang out with your club and maybe talk to some players on other teams that are in your division or in your club. Whereas when I started refereeing and going away to tournaments, it was one where you're in big tents, especially in these big Australian tournaments, in this big tent with maybe 200 or 300 referees. And all of a sudden you're sitting there and you're sitting next to all different referees from all over the state or all over the country. And you build this network of referees, and it's sort of this professional network of people that would never have spoken to otherwise. I know that Saldo and I would be sitting at a referee's tent, and you'd be sitting there talking to someone who might be 20 or 30 years older than you, and you sort of say, oh, what do you do for work? This and that. And someone will tell you, oh, I'm a lawyer, or I'm a bricklayer, or this and that. So you've got this really diverse network. But the biggest thing I found coming through those ranks was there's the opportunity to progress, and you can progress to a state tournament in Australia, in New South Wales, or in Queensland, or wherever you are, really. And then you can progress, if you really, really stick to it, you can progress further and go to an Australian level and all the way up. So there is avenues to actually progress through the refereeing ranks if you stick at it. It does take a lot longer, though. It's not like if you're a really good referee, you'll just jump through the ranks really, really quickly. There might take 2 or 3 years longer, but there's the opportunity to really step up and work through those ranks, and you can put all that work in yourself. You're not reliant on other people around you as much, like in a team environment. So really getting that opportunity to work through those ranks and build that network was something that really appealed to me.
Interesting. Probably something that players don't really consider. And on that point, throwing over to you now, Heck, I guess to elaborate a little bit on what Heck was saying, and maybe it's a player's perspective, but often I know players will say to each other, I don't know why the heck you would do it, in terms of refereeing getting abused by players, and not a lot of thanks at the end of a game. No one really focuses on the refereeing side of things. In fact, I've heard players, Shanks was one of them, say that refs are just guys and girls who aren't very good touch players. What would you say to that?
I would say that's accurate for both me and Luke. I think the best referees, I know it's funny, but like I actually think the best referees are the ones who have failed playing the game first, because you get a bit of an appreciation and understanding for at least what it's like to play the game. So yeah, for me, it probably sounds weird, but I get enjoyment from being able to facilitate an environment for people to succeed. So like particularly when I got to those high performance levels, when I started to referee in the men's and women's open divisions, you do get an enjoyment factor out of being able to facilitate an environment for those elite players to be at their best. I think, in touch football, and I think anyone who watches the game and knows it well can understand how much of an impact, match officials can have on a game of touch, how much they have the ability to allow it to flow, as much as they have the ability to create a whole heap of stoppages that potentially don't need to be there. Of course, players play their part in that as well. But yeah, for me, I've found real satisfaction in being able to facilitate an environment for players to succeed. And that was my goal when I went out to referee a game of touch, was to try and allow it to flow as much as possible, not steer away from a big decision if it presented itself. Of course, you've got a job to do as well. But yeah, I think you build rapport through communication in officiating, and for me it was, like I say, it was just about getting enjoyment from facilitating an environment for players. But I think on Heck's point earlier as well, the friends you make through touch football, whether it's as a player or as a referee. Like I met my wife through touch football. She was a player, played for North with Kimmy's club. I don't know if you were there at the same time or not, but there's so many great people you meet through touch. So I think that's the greatest part about our game.
Interesting point, because not a lot of players like referees, so I guess referees have to like each other. So,
Yeah.
Heck, just going back to you, Heck. So if you do make that transition back onto the field, round about the same age, you'll have an opportunity, I'm sure, to come across Shanks and just prove him wrong with that comment around not being a very good player. Look forward to that moment. Throwing over to question 3 for the set of 6. How do you, and maybe we'll start with you, Saldo, how do you stay neutral? So you talked about letting the game flow where possible, depending on players' input and where they have to force your hand, I guess. But how do you stay neutral? I assume that you both support New South Wales, growing up and playing New South Wales yourself, but when you jump on and referee a State of Origin game, and even for yourself, Heck, touch World Cup and it's Australian side, how do you switch off then?
I don't even, like, for me, it's not even a matter of switching off. I think it just comes down to human emotion. Like players, and it doesn't matter if it's State of Origin level or if it's club level. Like I come from a club as well. I come from Manly Touch, and I've refereed lots of Manly Touch games at State Cup as well. I refereed Australian games, Australia versus New Zealand. But the difference, I think, between players and match officials is players are emotionally invested in the game, in the outcome. And I think to be the best, to be a good match official, or most match officials, you're just not emotionally invested. You don't care about the result. You're not out there to win per se. Like for me, my goal is to go out. I spoke about in the previous question, is to facilitate an environment for the players to succeed, and that's my focus going into a game. So I'm not thinking about the outcome, not thinking about the people that I know in the team versus the people that I don't. It's not even something that you have to think about. It's just something that you just go out and you do. So I know that a lot of people have asked me this question. I've even refereed my own sister at touch football. And I just call her by her number. She's number 6 on the field to me. I don't even think about it. It's just, she's another player on the field between the white lines for those 40 minutes. So I know some people think that it takes a whole mindset approach to a game, but it really doesn't for me.
Yeah. Would you say similar, Heck? Very similar response to Saldo there?
Yeah, definitely. It's one which when you cross onto the field, or you're pulling your socks up in the ref shed or the ref tent, it's one where you turn up and you've got a job to do, and you're refereeing, and no matter who's on that field, you just need to officiate it, and you're there to officiate, and that's it. It might be that you're actually refereeing your home club, which I've done many a times. I've had a few clubs over my time through moving around different places, but yeah, you have a job to do. Your job is to officiate the match, and that's it. And similar to Saldern, I've actually turned up to a Vorden Cup in Sydney, and this is a little secret to any referees that are coming through. If you're on the second time slot in Vorden Cup, don't walk into the ref shed until that first game started. Otherwise, you're going to get an extra game. But I walked in 5 minutes before that first game. Oh, thank goodness you're here, Heck. And my partner was playing on the main stadium in Sydney in the Velodrome. And of course, here's the card, on you go. And yeah, I'm refereeing my partner. So you just have to referee and be completely objective, and you've got a job to do, and that's it. So yeah, it's just
And
the
is
way
it
it is
left
as a
on
ref.
is it left on the field, both partners and your sister, you make a terrible call on them? Is there any friction after the game or the drive home or
I've
afterwards?
I put my own father in the sin bin. It was and I was young at the time too. I reckon it was a local touch. I can't even remember exactly what happened, but he lost his cool, and I didn't even realize it was him at first. I just saw red, turned around, and then realized it was him, and I was like, all right, well, you go to the bin. So it was a quite old drive home. I think Dad was a bit embarrassed, to be honest, because he's always been my biggest supporter, who pushed me into refereeing and going down that path. And yeah, the fact that he'd lost his cool at me on the field was pretty funny.
It's a great story. What about for you, Heck? Anything like that?
Or what was in the car, trip back, and you just say, look, that's the way I saw it. And whether it's right or wrong, that's the word on the field. And the video, if the games are videoed, a lot of the games are videoed by those green VOs now, or you have a live stream or a broadcast. Sometimes that broadcast might be from a completely different angle that the on-field match officials are at. So you just have to say, look, that's the way I saw it at the time. And touch football is such a quick game, and you just make a decision on the run. The one where sometimes people get frustrated, come up to me and ask me, oh, this happened in my game 2 time slots ago. What would you have done in this situation? And straight away, I'll just say, well, I wasn't there, I didn't see it, and I'm only hearing one side of the story. But yeah, there's sometimes some testing conversations, and you just need to be very diplomatic, I'd say.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a very good neutral answer. Question number 4 on the set of 6 for you both, and maybe it was your dad, Sally, maybe not. But what is the best sledge you've received on the touch field from a player?
Oh, jeez. Don't even know if I can say that on a podcast. If I gave you the side profile, I've got a relatively long nose, and I called a player offside on the trial line. He said, "Mate, I was in line with your nose," and I thought that was pretty quick-witted. That's probably the most PG rated one that comes to mind. Yeah.
Very good. Heck, have you got one?
Oh, look, there's probably too many to think about, though. You hear them, and I will say, if players are listening to this, which I'm sure they are, if you can come up with something that's not offensive but like funny and really witty, most referees will have a chuckle at it. It's just how you deliver it. If you deliver it well, like I'll have a chuckle at anything and go, yeah, good on you, mate. That's fine, and it will play on. It's a bit of mutual banter between the players and refs, I'd say.
Fair enough. Last question for you, set of 6 for you both. Question number 5. I've skipped over one. This probably snowballs on the back of the question 4 around copying sledges. Who is the worst player, or you can nominate a number of players here. Who are the worst players that you've had to ref?
Oof, I'll let you go first, Heck.
I wouldn't say they're the worst players, and this is me being diplomatic again, but they're players who are really clever, and like quite often, if you're a rugby league fan, everyone would have heard of Cameron Smith, and they often call him, he was the second referee on the field. But you have players who are so passionate and they are so knowledgeable of the game that they will test you every single decision. And there's one player for me that springs to mind, and he's actually moved into coaching, but it's Scott Bundy from Penrith, and he is just incredibly intelligent and understands the game so well that you make a decision, even if you've made that decision 100% correct, he'll try, and sometimes he's left out in my mind, where you just go, oh, really? Was I? But you just have to roll on with the call. So yeah, he was he's a really tough player to referee just because he knows the game so well, and really, really top person off the field. And as soon as he steps onto the field, just, yeah, in your ear, but you know that it's because he understands the game. Other players, like there's a lot of players, like Gary Sonder was a really, really tough player to referee as well. Again, so smart, so athletic, and was still playing men's open for West, I think, in his like mid to late 40s. So you've got these players that just have invested so much time and energy into the game, and then you've got these referees like Luke and I who are, probably mid 20s at the time, and they test you. They really do. And it's something that if you come out the other side from it as a referee, you go, I really handled myself well on the field, and that player didn't get over the top of me. And yeah, it's tough. But yeah, those two are really tough. Tough
stand out.
players to referee. I wouldn't say that they're the worst. I would say that they really test you, which is a credit to them, I would say.
Yeah, probably to extend on what Heck said, because I actually probably agree with both of his comments there. It probably ties back to that emotional investment that we spoke about earlier. Like it's one of those things as a referee, you've got to understand that most of the time you'd like to think 9 times out of 10, particularly with, again, we're talking about men's and women's open with those smarter players who play at such a high level. It's not personal. It's their emotion coming out. It might be their frustration coming out, but it's never personal. One thing that I always found in that environment, if we had a game like that where a player really tested us or it became really challenging, that at the end of the game, you'd always just shake their hand and say thanks for the game. There was always that respect between referees and players in touch football where you could stand there and have a chat and a laugh after that final siren, regardless of sort of what went on during those 40 minutes. So that's probably one of the things I enjoyed most about the game. But I like to be in challenge as a referee as well. It's you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable in that arena. So
good neutral answers there again from the both of you. Probably a better word. I was trying to throw you under the bus and get a bite there, but like very good referees, you did not. Probably challenging or testing players would have been a better way to phrase that. But well done on answering that neutrally. Last question for you for the set of 6 for you both. If you could pick your starting 3 for a Touch World Cup Opens Grand Final, men's or women's open mix, doesn't matter, who would you pick and why?
players,
Referees.
Obviously not including yourselves.
Not including ourselves. Yeah, no, I wasn't going to go myself. All right, I'll go first. So guy by the name Maya Williams. He's from New Zealand. One of the best. He retired a number of years ago now, but he's one of the best communicators I've ever met in my life, on and off the field. He has this real calming nature. I spoke earlier about good referee, or the best referees are great communicators. He's the essence of that. I learned so much from Maya about how to communicate with players and build respect, build rapport, and get good outcomes from games. So definitely on the back of that, I'd say Maya Williams. Adam Foley, who's also a retired referee, very similar to Maya, except probably as well his ability to read a game of touch football was unbelievable. Like you think about some of these balls that we get seen thrown on the scoreline these days, it gets thrown from 3/4 one side of the field to the sideline on the other. A referee's never going to beat that pass from a standing start. So you've got to see that coming in advance and be moving laterally before the pass is even thrown to be any chance of being in a position to make a credible decision when the ball gets grounded and the winger's also diving across to make a touch at the same time. So his ability to read a game and be on that sideline every time the ball was put down was unbelievable. And again, you can only make a credible decision if you're there on the spot to make it, as opposed to 50 meters away. And then probably third, Dave Baggio. I think a lot of people would know Dave Baggio is the current world number 1. Done it all in the game. So they'd be my top 3.
Nice. Heck, any different?
it's pretty similar. One for the Queensland listeners. There was a referee years ago who I actually didn't. It's sort of like a bit of folklore. I didn't actually get to see him run, but Rick Borg apparently was the number 1 referee for a long time in the world. He was sort of before Adam Foley, but you'll probably put him in the mix as well. But at the moment, yeah, definitely you've got Dave Baggio and Adam Foley would be there. But there's been a few really good referees that have come through, but I would probably have Dave Baggio, Adam Foley, and then Rick Borg as well.
Well done. Good answers throughout that set of 6. You got through a set of 6 combined, powers combined. So well done for the both of you. Thank you for sharing some touch football knowledge from a referee's perspective. It was really interesting to hear. Throw over to Kimmy now for the next segment. Kimmy's Corner.
All right, this is fun because there's the 2 of you. So we're gonna play most likely to.
Fun.
So I've got a bunch of questions, and I'm gonna ask you the question, and you both have to answer either yourself, so say your own name, or the other Luke's name, and we'll see if you both answer the same or differently. All right, first question: who is most likely to join a cult?
Oh heck,
Yeah, probably me.
I don't even have to think about that.
And there's no rebuttal from you, Heck, so clearly it's a bit of a concern.
He's right out there, Heck. Don't
Well,
worry about
touch football is a cult.
It's a
so
cult.
that.
That's a fair comment. All right, next one. Who is most likely to get thrown out of a club?
Probably Heck.
Oh, I think we both have had our times in the
We've
sun.
had our
so,
fair,
yeah.
That is
But
true.
yeah, probably me at some stage, yes.
We've got his Bucks party coming up this weekend, so
Okay. Well, you'll have to report and see if that actually happens.
Report back in.
Surely,
yeah, we'll test it.
Saldo, you have to make it happen.
Oh, he's
Bucks.
$1. He's $1.
Yeah, tied up to something, in some sort of outfit.
Yeah, we won't go
Alright.
there.
Most likely to have their own reality show.
Oh,
Oh, Saldo.
Saldo.
Is that that's the family life?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's
Yeah.
yeah. Girl dad.
Yeah, girl
Girl
dad,
dad vibes.
two
Yeah.
beautiful kids. Just
Yep.
yeah. But I
This
don't
is
even
us.
want to ask.
Keeping
Yeah.
up with the
Yeah.
Seldons.
Keeping up with the
Yeah.
Saldos. Keeping up with the Saldos.
It's got a ring to it. Hey, there's a good idea coming out of this. Who is most likely to become an influencer?
Saldo.
Oh, Saldo. Rach can run my my profiles for me.
Yeah, fair. Pretty fair comment. All right. Who's most likely to take 1 week to reply to a text?
Saldo. I'm hopeless.
Saldo's pretty
Actually,
hopeless.
if I look at my text messages right now, my unread messages is currently sitting at 64. So I'm on fire. I'm hopeless, honestly.
I feel like
I work 7 I literally work 7 days a week, right? So my Monday to Friday, and then I've got rugby league on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, reviews, like never ending, 2 kids.
Can I
No
ask
time,
how
no time for
many
texting.
how many different conversations is that unread 64 across? Is
Oh,
that just like
quite
a
a few.
couple of group chats, or that gives me
No,
anxiety?
that's a lot. It's a lot. There's probably in excess of 12 different things here. I know it gives me anxiety too, don't worry. I feel like the worst bloke in the world, but oh,
I feel like
So-
Luke, Saldo, you're the type of person who, if you don't respond then and there,
You're not
good
getting
luck.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll worry about that later.
It's going into the later pile.
yeah.
Well, we should feel pretty happy you got back to us pretty quickly. So
Yeah.
actually, you replied before Heck did on the last
true.
text. So all right, feeling very important after that one. Next one, who's most likely to intentionally give the wrong directions to tourists?
Heck.
Just,
Yeah, I'd probably do it
just
as
for
a
a laugh.
joke.
Yeah,
Probably do it as a joke.
Yeah.
I can see that. Who's most likely to cancel plans at the last moment?
It's a tough question for both of us because
Mm.
during rugby league season, we don't find out about our games until the Tuesday before the weekend. So we generally don't make plans during the season, which is much to the annoyance of everyone, our friends, partners. So generally, if we've got something locked in, yeah, it's because we know we've got a day off. So I would say we wouldn't cancel. But if someone was to cancel, it would be Saldo.
Yes, I'll cop that.
It's what when you're a girl, well, just when you're a dad with
Yeah.
young kids, it's a given, isn't it?
Yes.
All right. Who is most likely to be killed first if they were in a horror movie?
Probably Heck.
Yeah, probably me. I'd be doing something silly.
Something stupid.
You'd probably be trying to make friends with the killer as well.
Yeah,
Whereas
probably just have a
Saldo's
chat.
probably
Be
like, I know what's happening.
yeah.
I'm straight out of there.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
Have a chat with them and go, oh yeah, what are you up to? What do you do for work, mate?
All right. Next one. Most likely to end up in jail.
No,
I don't care. Okay, I'll take it. I was going to say Heck, but I'll take it. I've thrown a few your way. Why?
I just think you'd probably hurt someone if they hit that nice car of yours.
True.
Do you not
True.
own a nice car, Heck?
No, I've got a scooter, which
He
I
got my
bought off Saldo.
And he also got my hand-me-down car as well. If I need to sell a vehicle, I just call Heck. He
Fair.
buys it.
Actually, I've got a lemon that I want to sell. Heck, we'll have a chat after this and take it off my hands.
Sounds good.
All right. Who's most likely to eat something off the ground?
Heck.
I would. I'm not letting that go to waste.
Is
Hey,
it
Luke
is it a
Heckendorf.
7-second rule or less?
Look, I'm not
There's
picking
no
up
rule.
the food they've left there, but if I've
Oh.
dropped it, I'm not wasting it. I've paid money for that.
Luke Heckendorf is one of Australia's great tight asses. He wouldn't shout if a shark bit him.
Oh, shots fired.
It's got a ring to it. That could be the name of this episode. Anyway, sorry.
Yes.
Carry on. All right. Who's most likely to go 1 week without a shower?
Oh, it's got to be Heck. I shower 3 times a day.
Yeah, I would. It would be me. If you look at Saldo's hair, if you're listening, it's a beautiful, beautiful gelled piece of hair.
Jet black.
It's always perfect. Yeah, he's showering all the time. And if he's coming over to your place and he needs to use your shower, I hope you've got a really big hot water system because there's no hot water left at the end of it.
Here's an idea for you, Saldo. What if there was like some sort of, there probably is an invention at the moment, but if you could like put your unread messages on just like an auto read whilst you're in the shower.
Yes, that would be efficient.
That would be, and
efficient.
then you could just like Siri back your response.
I'm waiting for waterproof AirPods.
Apple, if you're listening.
Yes, if you're listening.
All right, next one. Most likely to be the first one at the microphone at karaoke.
Oh, Heck.
That's me.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
It would have to be a bit of John Bon Jovi, Living on a Prayer.
Yes.
Or sometimes you'll go a bit of country, get a bit of Luke Bryan or Luke Combs as well. So it varies. But if you're ever at a touch tournament, you've got a microphone and a karaoke party, let me know. I'll come past.
Maybe that's the next like hookup for when you come back to reffing. You should bring a karaoke machine. Because I feel like you might get a couple of players that'll be like, oh, what's going on in there? That looks like fun.
Yeah, they'll go, look at those refs. Aren't they weird? Look at them. They've got karaoke at touch.
I can tell you right now, if you rocked up to a Queensland touch...
They do that anyway, mate.
This is true. But I reckon there are that many phillos in Queensland playing touch, they would come to that tent in a heartbeat.
All right, we'll give it a go.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but especially the philo mums anyway. All right, next one. Who is most likely to win a hot dog eating contest?
Ooh.
I feel like it would be me. I can eat.
Yeah, Heck.
As long as it's not your shout, you can eat.
Yes, if someone pays if someone pays for his entry fee.
Yeah. All right. 2 more questions for you. Who is most likely to fart in an elevator full of people?
Probably Saldo.
Yeah, he's just a grub.
Would you be facing the people or facing the door?
I'd probably do the decency of facing the door.
I'd want to see it. I'd want to like see it drop and then just be like, oh yeah.
You'd have to edge it out. You can't just.
It'd be like Jim Carrey when he jumps out of the lift in that movie.
Yeah.
All right, final question. This is like back in your single days. So rewind at least a decade. Who is most likely to go on Love Island?
I'd like to think it would be me, but Saldo's got the looks for it. He's always got his hair done. He'd go on there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I ever want to put myself in that kind of spotlight. We'll go with Heck, since he said he'd do it.
And why Heck?
Oh,
Heck loves himself.
Jump on there, talk to
like
people.
Most people on those shows.
Yeah.
I'm glad you answered the question as well, Heck. That was the Saldo, but we'll take both. All right, that is the end of my questions. Survived.
Well done, Kimmy. Well done, gents. Next part of the podcast are the games. All fun and games now. You'll have to give up the whistle because we're going to hand it over to Shanks as the referee for the next 2 segments. So Shanks, over to you.
All right. So we'll get a team up between you 2 guys. So I'll get Heck to choose a number 16 or 9.
16.
16. Okay, that means you're teaming up with Cess. And
let's go.
Sal, you're with Kim.
Depending on the game, that's a win or a loss for you, Kim.
Yeah, well, that's all good.
So you'll both know probably, and to any of our new listeners, that fiercely competitive, and you guys both touched on this before we pressed the record button. Kimmy particularly fiercely competitive when it comes to these games, because at the end of the season, whenever that may be, the loser has to jump out of a plane and skydive. So play your hardest, Heck, please. I'm a couple behind Shanks, I believe, at this stage. 10-8.
Yes, you are. It's 10-8. Yep.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead. Bring it back. I need evens, please.
So beginning with this first game, we've played this one before with Jacob and Amelia. We call it the password game or the guess the word game. So you'll have an explainer and a guesser. So we show the explainer the word. The guessers close their eyes in this case, and they can only say one word, take turns. They can only say one word for them to guess that word, just one word.
So you're going to hold the word up?
Yes, Shanks? I've got words here. Yes, so
excellent.
We'll start with
Let's go. We'll Kimmy and I will explain first, and the Lukes can guess. I
Okay.
think as our guests.
All right. So,
I'm nervous for you, Kim.
so Luke's
Okay.
close your
Let's
eyes for the
go.
moment.
Yep.
Oh, you got to zoom. Yeah.
Okay, we got it.
Got it?
Okay.
Heck,
Luke.
you good.
Oh, sorry.
We'll go. Kim, you can start because yeah, you're a earlier number.
All right. I'm hoping I'm just going to get straight to the point. Are you ready, Saldo?
Born ready.
Are you ready? Lift.
Elevator.
Damn it.
Hey, yeah.
Gotta
You should
be-
have said fart. You should have said fart. I would have been all over it.
Yeah,
True.
I was hoping you would. It's a good guess. I probably would have said lift as well as my clue, but I was hoping you were thinking like lift up. But well done.
Nice.
Over to the boys.
Yep. So, Cess and Kim, close your eyes.
Oh, it's blurry.
Hang on.
Oh, there we go. Yep, got ya. Okay.
All right.
Good.
Yep. We'll start with Heck now this time.
All right. Movies.
Cinema.
No.
I was thinking something else. Please don't be what I was thinking.
No.
We're flying. We're flying, Kimmy. Food.
Damn it.
Popcorn.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, there it is.
Oh,
As soon as I knew Luke was going first,
There
Heck
it
was
is.
going first.
Sorry,
knew.
Heck. I
knew.
wanted to say popcorn. I should have said as soon as I said
That-
cinema, I was thinking it was going to be popcorn.
It's very strategic. That first
Damn it.
word,
Yeah.
you got to hit it. Otherwise, it's very hard.
Boom.
Damn.
All
you got to
right.
hide. You got almost got to hide it from them.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
going to be
basically.
really,
Yep.
really
it's very hard.
blasé for the first one.
All right.
Over to us.
Yes. Over to Cess and Kimmy. So close your eyes, boys.
Yeah.
Got it. All right.
Cess is thinking. Yeah, we're good. Luke.
Right.
So starting off with Kim.
Oh no, is it
No,
Cess
'cause
now? Because otherwise, Heck and I will keep going first. So Cess can go
Oh, yep.
first.
Sorry.
next one,
Yes,
and then-
Cess.
Interesting. Thinking.
Oh, this is a hard one. Okay, I'm going to say champions.
Oh. Winners.
I mean,
Saldo.
I think I've messed up here.
You
Sorry,
have.
Heck.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Brisbane.
The Brisbane Lions.
Oh, yep.
Boom. I had AFL, but I know that they won. And I listened to the last podcast where I found out Cess loves the Brisbane Lions.
I
See?
do.
Yep.
Yeah,
Doing your
That's-
research pays off.
And that's why I put it in there.
yeah,
Premiers,
well done.
Cess. Premiers.
Yes, I know. But would you have said Lions if I said premiers?
Probably not.
No. Oh, we are struck. What is it? Three zip.
It is 3-zip.
We can come back. What have you got? How many have you got?
So I've got 7 all up. So there's a bit
Heck,
of time.
let's get on a roll here.
What have we got? 3, so 1 to get.
Yep.
Good.
Yep. So
All right.
Cess and Kim, close your
We're
eyes.
in the head. We're in the head, Kim. Okay, yep.
Got it?
Yep.
All right. I think it's Sal to start.
Okay. Space.
I'm just gonna go with. Oh no. Moon.
No.
All right, Cess, you ready? I'm going to be inclusive. Person.
Nice. Person. Astronaut.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very good.
I was thinking, I was going to say man, but then I thought there's actually 2 people stuck up on the in the
Yes.
space station, and it's
Correct.
a man and a woman. So I was like,
Yes.
you can't say man.
I was originally gonna say station, and I thought, nah, it can't be space station.
Yeah, I feel like space was the only word you could start with.
Well done. Okay, we're back.
All
Let's
right.
go, Heck. No losses from here. We're home.
Close your eyes, boys.
No,
You see it?
yeah, got it. Oh,
Yep.
is it me going first?
Yes, it is
Yes.
Kim.
Okay. Hmm. Hmm.
This is tough.
Olympics.
Oh. Paris?
No,
Hmm. So many possibilities.
I think it doesn't give it away for the second clue.
Heck, come on. Competitor.
Oh,
Narrowed it down.
ray gun.
Good guess, but no.
That was a good guess.
What's the word I'm looking for? Okay, so we've said Olympics and competitor. It's basically the same word that you just said that I'm thinking of. There's a lot of silence. So sorry. Player.
Oh, okay. Charlotte Caslick.
Negative.
Hmm.
So what have we had? Competitor, Olympics,
Player.
and player. Professional.
I'm going to guess it's athlete.
Correct.
Yes.
Ah.
Yes.
My
Here we
afterthought,
come.
my afterthought was actually to say like jock. Probably should have gone with jock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here we
Thank
go.
you.
Come on.
We're on the comeback here.
They're on the
All
comeback.
right. What is it?
Got
What's the
two
score
straight.
check? 3-2.
Score 3-2, and there's 2 to go.
Are we covering?
Yes,
Seth?
you are.
Yes, we are.
All right. Ready?
Very good. Yep.
Got it.
All right. It's Heck now.
Oh, I'm going to say martini.
Presso.
Nice.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
Espresso martini.
I actually didn't even think of that. That was really
Well played.
good.
Great
Well played.
clue, Heck.
Wow.
Great
Well
clue.
played.
Awesome.
I
Alright.
almost said cocktail, but I would have struck
Does
myself
opening your
out.
eyes like an owl count as cheating?
It helped. It helped me.
Martini?
If you're listening, I opened my eyes like they're like dinner plates and said martini. So yeah, hopefully that got him. They got us across the line.
Smart.
All right. We're tied up 3-3.
All right, here we go. Heck.
Here we
Let's go.
go.
Final
It's for the
round.
win.
For the
This is
win.
it. I can't believe we come to this.
All right.
We folded like the Queen of the Origin team here.
Yeah, okay.
All right. It
Man.
is Cess to start.
Yeah. Oh, no pressure, Cess.
I have to be super broad here because if I give any sort of anything that Kimmy can jump on the back of, it's done. He's hot. I think I'm done. Shit. Take that back. Hot. I think I'm stuffed up. Sorry. Heck.
Cold.
All right. No, sourdough. Please. You ready? Season.
Summer.
Hey.
Lovely.
Hey.
I don't know what I could have said to not allow Kimmy to say season because
Because if you said season, I would have said hot. But Heck would have had a 1-4.
You need to work on
Chance,
those clues, like spring.
Heck, I let the team down there. Let's go. Next game. Congratulations,
All right.
Kimmy. Another one up.
So game 2. So this
Play
one's-
long and home, by the way, for our listeners.
So this one's a little bit different. We're calling it the alphabet game. So you got to tell a story, but every sentence has to start with each letter of the alphabet. So obviously you go through A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and the story must flow.
Are we all taking turns or it's like one
In pairs.
at a time?
Yep. So as you're teamed up, you're taking turns in each sentence
All the way to
with
there.
your teammate, as far as you can go.
Oh.
And
Until
are we
someone,
going?
until
Are we
someone
going a
steps up?
theme? Is there a theme to them?
There is.
Okay.
So-
So we'll go. Kimmy and Saldo can go first.
Yep. So I'll give you both. Well, if Kimmy and Salo goes first, I'll give them their. So you don't get a head start. So Kimmy's
Yeah.
team, you're going on a family road trip.
Let me just clarify. So it's just Saudo and I going through. We're taking
Yeah.
turns. So I'll start with A and then he'll go B and then I'll go C.
Correct.
D. Okay.
Yeah.
A family road trip.
Going on a family road trip.
Do you want to go first, Saudo, or me?
Whatever. Is it just? It's just a sentence.
Yeah,
That's all
but we're gonna
telling
go
a story.
all the way through.
Tell
Yeah.
us a story.
All right,
A good
good.
story.
You go first, Kimmy.
A.
Is that your sentence?
That can't
No.
be a
So
sentence.
I'm saying
Yes.
one letter, right?
No.
No.
You're saying a sentence.
That starts with A.
Oh.
The first word has to start with A.
Just
What do you
the first
mean? Just
word.
A? Because then Saldo would have
Yeah,
said B
like-
and then you say C.
That's what I was
What are you
Archibald.
talking about?
Just say Archibald family going on a trip or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
correct.
Yeah.
So
Sounds
okay,
good.
I was thinking that the whole
I
the
thought
story
that as well. I thought
Thank
it was
you.
one word each.
I
bus came
understood.
down
A big cat.
elephant. Yeah, exactly. Okay, right. Now I'm with you. Sorry, I
Yeah.
was literally just thinking for one word at a time, so now I'm kind of stuck. Okay. A long time ago,
Batem family decided to go on a holiday.
Chelsea packed up all of the bags.
David did too.
Elsa wasn't happy that they forgot to pack her favorite doll.
Far out, she said. Can't believe they forgot my doll.
Go back home and get it right now.
Henry, the father, turned around and said, "We've driven too far. We're not going back."
Gosh damn it.
Oh, what's the next thing? That
Have you gone backwards?
I have gone backwards.
You
Sorry,
have gone backwards.
T.
Yeah.
T. I.
Oh,
Henry the Father went back.
I think
You
that's
needed
where
I.
it ends.
That's where it ends. Had to flow. Needed I.
That was going very well, actually.
It was. I got too
felt like
excited.
it could have just have been a very, very, very big family. I was
I
expecting
know. We could have
an
gone through.
Indigo and then a Jacob.
I thought it
and
was going to go that way.
Kelly. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
New
Okay.
rule. You can only use one name.
All right. So Cess and Heck, your topic is going on a blind date.
Okay.
Kick us off, Cess.
Okay. About a month ago, a bachelor named Tim swiped right on Tinder.
Hey.
Bridget thought about swiping left, but she also swiped right.
Can't leave her on scene, said Tim to himself. So he messaged back and set up the date.
Danger, danger. I have to do my hair.
Extra care Tim took when picking out his suit and tie for the date.
Far out. I'll have to do my makeup as well, she said.
Great. I'm so glad that she has locked in this date. I'm so excited, said Tim.
Hurry, I'd better get ready because I'm going to get picked up shortly.
Is she even going to show up? Tim asked himself.
Just in case, I'll call a friend and get them to call me about half an hour into the date, telling me that there's been a big catastrophe, just in case I want to get out.
Killing myself with anxiety, Tim thought as he drove to the restaurant, palms sweaty.
Look over there. Sweaty Palm Man is at the table.
That flowed well.
Man, oh man, what a picturesque woman she looks like, Tim thought to himself.
Negative. This is not good, she said.
Oh my God, she's the most beautiful woman I have seen. I'm so glad I swiped right.
Please, please, please hurry up and call so I can get out of this date.
Rest in peace, Tinder, because I've found the one, Tim said to himself.
You missed out on Q.
Miss Q.
Oh, that was
That
going
was
so
going
well.
so well.
That
Damn
was
it!
unbelievable. Well, safe to say Cess won that round. Cess and Heck.
You guys
Well,
had me
Heck.
hooked on that one. I wanted to go get a bag of popcorn from the cinema.
Look, it's up here. That could be a romance novel.
I
Touch
feel
on
like
romance novel.
if there are any graphic artists out there, I feel like we could make that into like a little short feature film.
Well done, Heck. I felt
Thank you.
we were locked
Well
in
done,
then.
guys.
Good job.
Rolling
Very
through
well
that.
done.
So Shanks, extra one to Kimmy there. So 11. What are we?
11-9.
11-9. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
What a
Excellent,
piece
mate.
on that one.
Next part of the podcast, Shanks, still with you.
Yep.
Shout out.
Shout out. Well, we've only recorded the episode a couple of days ago, so there hasn't been an opportunity for any social interaction. So everyone out there, just remember to comment on our socials for a chance to get a shout out in the next episode. If you enjoyed this episode with Saldo and Heck, please share it with your friends, family, touch community, and don't forget to rate and review us on your favorite podcast, and 5 stars if you really like it.
I actually I'm gonna hijack your shout out section because there was a post. So one of our previous guests, Quinn Whitaker, who I think both of you guys know, isn't on Instagram, but he is on Facebook. And there was a late post that went up today, and he shared it to his socials, and it got a lot of loving. I think a lot of people. He doesn't really post a lot on socials, so as soon as he posted just a pic of his episode, we'll give a shout out to another fellow referee from Manly, Tour Masters. And yeah, his comment was, "The man, solid bro," and I feel like we can all hear him actually saying that with the biggest smile on his face. So
Nice.
we'll give a shout out to our fellow referee. You guys know him quite well, and he's obviously from Manly Touch.
Fitting
Very
that we
nice.
mentioned referee on our shout out today. Well done. Previous guest question, Shanks. Next segment,
Yes,
we have something from Pell.
Yes,
Our-
so we previous guest Chris, aka Pell, from England Touched, he's asked. He says, "I love cooking. It's my favorite pastime and the only way I truly switch off from work. You get to choose one person to cook a 3-course meal for. Who are they? What 3-course meal do you cook and why?"
Oh, I was not expecting this question. A three-course meal. So it could be anyone, or are we talking from the touch community?
Could be anyone.
Oh, a really
Is it
good question.
celebrity Shanks or just anyone?
I think it's just anyone.
Just anyone. Okay.
No, it's good.
Are
It's a
we
good
all answering
question.
this or?
Yeah, each one. So Heck,
Yes.
Okay.
Heck
all
can
right.
go first, I think.
Yeah, I am not the greatest cook, but I think a three-course meal. I'm a big fan of Italian food. Well, I'm a big fan of food in general, so it doesn't really matter what it is. But I think I would, cook a nice three-course Italian meal, starting with garlic bread, lasagna, and then finish off with a tiramisu or maybe an espresso martini for you, Seth.
Oh, yes.
Wouldn't sleep. But I think the person who it'd be really interesting to have a conversation with and just to see if he's actually like he is in the media would be Donald Trump. Just to get an understanding of like, is this all a show, or are you who you are portrayed as on TV and everything? So yeah, I think he would eat Italian food, but I think that would be quite interesting. Maybe a little bit scary as well. Who knows?
Interesting. Good answer. Saldo.
Oof. I have more time to think about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Kimmy, have you got someone?
What
are you cooking?
Yeah, so I'm the same as Heck. I'm not like much of a chef. I like to eat out a lot, as most of my friends would know, but I would probably cheat in the first course and put on like a cheese platter. Does that count? We're just gonna
Cooking loosely. Yep.
play through. And then the second course would be vodka pasta. It was one of my answers for what I would cook. Solid. It's like my go-to, never fails yet. And then the dessert would probably be a tiramisu as well. Recent holiday, that was like the main dessert, and that's like current on the taste buds. And then who am I inviting over? I feel like, I don't know, someone like, again, I think someone from years ago in the prime of their time, if it was like a sporting star, like someone like Muhammad Ali, just with like the time that he was, in his prime, but then just all the way through to his older life as well, and just the difference in generations and times and his sport and his way of thinking and whatnot. I feel like that would be a really interesting conversation. But yeah, for no other reason, like the other person would have been like Kathy Freeman for a similar thing as well. Just, one of the goats of Australian sport. I feel like that would be a really interesting conversation.
Shanks, you can go next.
Yeah, I think for me, mine would probably be my nan, only because she's kind of unable to cook anymore, and Pop can't really cook for her either. So I think the same as you, Heck, and Kimmy, it'd probably be something to do with like Italian pasta. She is celiac, so it would be all gluten-free. She loves her spaghetti bolognese, and she loves her ice cream. So pretty simple, but yeah, that's what I do.
Nice one. Saldo, I'll leave you to last if that's okay. I have a
Yeah,
bit more time to think. I would probably, I don't mind cooking. I quite enjoy it as well, similar to Pell. So entree, I'd probably just make some lumpia or spring rolls, as they're known to everyone else. Main, I would just do, not surprisingly, or some sort of rice dish with an adobo, probably a pork. It's like a stew for the Lukes, with some pineapple, and it's like a umami, savory, soy sort of dish. And then to finish that off, probably another Filipino dessert that'd just be filo food all the way through. Probably a leche flan, which is like I guess, how would you describe that, Kimmy? Shanks? Probably like a sweet custardy.
Yeah, kind of like a creme caramel, but not as like silky smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm probably doing that. And the person I'd have over, this is really topical at the moment, and I'd probably have the current Premier for Queensland, Stephen Miles, over. could be by the time this comes out. I believe the election is the 26th of October. I just had to look it up, and this will come out just a week after that. So it could be the ex-premier by the time this comes out. But if you're on socials at the moment, it's just popping up one after the other. It's really interesting. I think that I'm not hugely into politics, but the way that it's shifted now, and they're just trying to outdo each other on socials now. And he has all these really funny. He's really awkward in what he does, but it's kind of endearing as well. So I'd love to have him over the dinner just to see if that's all a facade or if he's genuinely just a bit of a dork at heart. So yeah, I'd love to have him over for a meal and see what's behind the socials. Stephen Miles, current Queensland Premier, maybe ex by the time this comes out, but yeah. There we go. Saldo, over to you.
Cool. Yeah, so the person I'd invite over, the essence of mental and physical resilience, the great Ned Brockman. For those who don't know the name Ned Brockman, he ran literally across Australia from Perth to Sydney. I think it's like 3,700 kilometers over however many days. I'd love to sit down and chat to him about that journey. Like, must have been so physically and mentally challenging. So I'm sure you'd learn a lot from half an hour at a table with Ned Brockman. But considering he's got a lot of calories to replenish, he can have double servings. But I'd probably do arancini balls for entree. I travelled Europe and in 2019, and when I was in Italy, fell in love with the arancini ball. Not that I've never had one before, but it's a whole new level when you have one in Italy. So I came home and learned a bit more about how to make an arancini ball myself. Bolognese for dinner, just because that's always my go-to on a Friday night before a football on a weekend, and top it off with a sticky date pudding for dessert.
Ooh,
Love it.
Yes.
Lovely.
great work. Second last question for the podcast for both of you, and this one's actually for all of us. Food related question: what's your pizza order? What's your ultimate pizza order? What's going on it?
Oh,
I'll go up first, and as sticking to what Luke said earlier, I'll be looking online for some vouchers first up. Ordering online,
discount
either
codes.
Pizza Hut or Domino's, probably. Sorry for naming some brands. Maybe you'll get picked up and have a partnership. And then probably just ordering meat lovers with extra meat, and maybe washing it down with a Coke Zero to feel healthy.
Very good. I love it. Saldo, what about
Oh,
you?
I'm a chicken supreme every time.
Simple.
Simple chicken
Easy
supreme
one.
every time.
Kimmy.
It depends where you're ordering it from. Like if it's just your stock standard takeaway joint, it's a Hawaiian every day because I feel like you can't stuff up a Hawaiian, and I do like the pineapple on a pizza. But otherwise, I'm actually taken a liking to like a chili prawn pizza, but it's got to be a good like chunky prawn. I hate it when it comes out and there's not enough prawns like per slice, and so there's always that one slice at the end that's just got nothing on it. It's got to be loaded with good prawns.
Shanks, what about you?
I think for me, I'm the same as Heck. It's going to be meat lovers, and it's going to be thin and crispy.
Ooh, and crispy.
Yeah, I'm a thin and crispy guy as well. And if Heck's got a spare voucher, I'm probably grabbing one of those and going the Godfather. Love a good Godfather, bit of spice, and I'm probably getting the chili flakes out of the cupboard when it comes and throwing some more on.
What's a Godfather? Is that just like full of meat?
It's like basically a hot meat lovers.
Like an Italian sort of, yeah.
Wow, you guys are all
It's
meat
pretty
lovers. I forgot that my first go-to would be a mushroom pizza.
All good answers.
Controversial, Peely. Never mind. Yeah.
Last question for the podcast for boys, and you know this one is coming. What is your fave dish to have with rice?
Yeah,
I knew this one was.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Saldo, you go first.
Yeah. No, you can't beat a good chicken cashew nut, chili jam, stir fry with rice. Love that. The local Chinese store down the road from me Thai store down the road from me does the best one ever. I go there almost weekly now. That good.
Chili jam stir fry. I don't know that I've had that, but the way you've described it, I think I'm adding it to the list.
It's the cashew and cashew nuts. The cashew nut that makes it. Bit of crunch.
I agree.
Bit of crunch.
And to clarify, Thai, not Chinese.
Thai.
Yeah, I don't want to offend a Chinese store if I'm ordering. Heck, over to you.
I'm a big fan of cooking stir fries. It's just something that I do when I meal prep for the week. So I'll make a big, massive stir fry and have them all in the fridge with rice, of course. But one thing that is interesting for three of you will be that I'm in a few weeks, maybe after this is released, I'll be getting married, and one of the aunties on the other side of the family is Filipino, and we call her Tita Jenny. And whenever we go to a family gathering, there's always a rice dish that she brings along, and everyone's like, "Oh, Jenny's cooked rice again!" But it is outstanding. It's always some sort of special fried rice or with fish and everything. It'll be a really, really Australian Christmas or Easter. You'll have all your different ham and everything on the table, but there's always rice when Jenny's there. So, yeah, I'm a huge fan of Tita Jenny's rice when she comes to the family events. But yeah, usually a stir fry week to week at home.
I have a feeling then, my question before, who's most likely to become an influencer? I totally forgot about this side of your family, or new to be in-law family, Heck. But are these the cousins who actually have a social media following at the moment?
They have a huge social media following.
I know these boys, and I don't know them, but they've popped up on my page, and their content is hilarious. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but every time the Philos are like, "Oh, my Filipino mum, this, that, and the other," and every single Filipino mum is the same, but all the stuff that they kind of make fun of and mock. What about that? Yes, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she's featured on their TikToks.
Yeah, once this is released, I'll put it in the comments so you can have a look. But yeah, they will be my family soon. And yeah, I wouldn't think I'll be featuring on any of their content, being the
maybe after the Bucks you might.
The Aussie referee. We'll have a chat to them and we'll see.
Heck, just to further ram home that point with the rice, I promise you could just be having the family over, or the extended family soon, for a simple Friday night bucket of KFC in front of the footy, if it is footy season, and Tita Jenny will probably bring a pot of rice along to have with the KFC.
Yeah, and I will gladly have it. I'm more than happy. Yeah.
On that point, good luck, best of luck with the Bucks, but also the pending wedding. Hope it all goes well. To the both of you for the Bucks, for that matter. Look forward to see some footage and stories that fall out of that. Thank you both very much for joining us on the podcast. It really was excellent, getting a referee's perspective and getting some stories and thoughts and just what goes on behind the scenes that maybe players weren't aware of in the touch community. So really appreciate you always jumping on and giving up your time.
No, thank you very much. I will say I did actually make a mistake earlier. It wasn't Scott Bundy. It was Scott Buckley. Scott Bundy is a champion player from up Doyleson Way, which is just north of Sydney. Scott Buckley, or Jack, tough player to referee, but I just wanted to clarify that. Scott Bundy, if you're listening, it's not you.
I apologise.
I apologise profusely.
I did wonder myself. I thought I misheard you, but anyway, there you go. No, thanks for having us, Cess. It was awesome, mate.
Thanks, guys. And for our listeners, thank you very much for jumping on. As Shank said before, if you've enjoyed this podcast episode, I'm sure you have, with our two new referee friends. Be nice to them if you see them out on the fields. Don't throw too much chat, because you know what goes on behind the scenes now. They are wonderful guys. Thank you for listening. And until next time, we'll see you on the 7th.
Can't wait.
Thank you for listening to the Touch and Rice podcast. Please join us on all our socials, including Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Touch and Rice Podcast.